Hi everybody, I'm Suzanne. Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a book outlet haul, and these books are primarily for homeschoolers. Now, there's many books that you could give to your children if they're interested in the subject matter, but I did purchase them for our homeschool room, and I have some books at the end that are for mamas. So all of you moms out there who love to read as well, and there are some there specifically for homeschool and some just because I think as a mom you might like to read them. Okay, the first book is Exploring the World of Cougars. Now, most little kids love cats and animals, so this isn't necessarily for homeschool. And that's the last time I'm going to qualify this. I just want those of you with young children to know you don't have to be a homeschooler to enjoy these. But if you are like me and homeschool, you might like a lot of these books to be on your shelf. And because they came from Book Outlet, they are at a price that it's affordable to do so. Okay, I'm going to show you the inside. So every time I ask my daughter what she wants to do for science, it always involves animals, all up until this spring when she wants to do some chemistry after reading a book series, but that I'll talk about later in another video. Okay, so that is Exploring the World of Cougars. And if you've been around my channel for a while and seen some of my previous book hauls, you will know that I absolutely love the HQ series. So they have a who is, was is, where is series, and I love all of them. This one is Who is Oprah Winfrey? I'll just show you the inside. And if you are not familiar with these HQ series, I love them. They give you a lot of information quickly, as well as some illustrations, and I find it's quite accessible and it doesn't get too dry. We've read some of them in one sitting, and other ones we've read in 3 or 4 sittings. It's entirely up to you, and I think it has to do with the subject matter as well as your state of mind when you're reading them, for sure. Okay, the next one that we have is What is the Berlin Wall? I'm looking forward to this because I admit, in terms of history, I have a lot of holes when it comes to the Berlin Wall, so I doubt I will after this. Then we have What is the Statue of Liberty? And the final one is Where are the Galapagos Islands? Now, we'll probably wait a few months to read this because we actually just watched a documentary on this, so can't imagine this would hold our attention right at the moment. But come the winter, we should be ready to revisit the subject. Yeah, really love these. Next, we have a real fun one, and this is Mythological Beasts. And this includes pieces to build 8 mythological creatures and a removable diorama. And this has a lot of the creatures that you're familiar with if you read a lot of mythology, which we do in this house. Serpent. Oh, just going to show you them quickly. Chimera, Pegasus. There's a few books like this too. I know I've seen a rainforest one. Hydra, Minotaur. Minotaur or Minotaur? No, Minotaur. Sphinx, Griffin. Yeah, you're getting the gist. Anyway, I love this. I think this would be so much fun to add to our classroom this year. Now, the next 2 books are from National Geographic, and I admit I bought these months ago, but I just came across them looking for something else, and I thought I would share them with you. The other books in this haul I literally just bought in May, but I wanted to let you know that they have a lot of great National Geographic books on Book Outlet as well. And if you're wondering, I am not affiliated with Book Outlet, but I will tell you this, as a homeschool mom and not only that, just a person that loves to collect books and have beautiful books and informational books, it's a place to get them that's affordable if you want to have many on your bookshelf. And so we have Absolute Expert, Rocks and Minerals. I love these National Geographic books for kids. I find they're entertaining. They're very colorful. You don't get bored, while delivering lots of information. So there, you can read a whole bunch, or you can just read little snapshots. They definitely pull you in. So yeah, that was on rocks and minerals, and this one is on absolute expert volcanoes. Oh, I find it so awkward showing pages from here. It's easier for me to go backwards. Yeah, you get the gist. Now this one I threw in because you can never have too many of these little workbooks, I don't find. Just as a little extra. I discovered this year it was great to give Vivian some while I needed time to prepare what we were going to do next if I was disorganized, which I can be, or I just needed to do something else. And it's a great way for her to practice the skills that she's learned. Now, this one in particular is 3 Math Readiness, Grade 3, Ready to Learn Math. And I love that it was Canadian curriculum series. Now, this says Math Readiness, but there are some topics in here that we haven't even touched. And it's getting close to our summer season when we take time off. So I'm definitely not going to be introducing any more new math topics before the summer. And I will use this next year when we're in grade 3. Now, this book I picked up because Jessica from the Waldock Way, another homeschool mom, talks about this, and she gets one of these books every year to always have on hand for the upcoming school year. Now, in this case, it's what your second grader needs to know, and they have them for different grades. So, for example, I would like to get my hands on what your third grader needs to know. Fundamentals of a good second grade education, in this case. Now, the reason that I picked it up is because Jessica does refer to it so many times. I wanted to have a look at the book, and it was 1/3 of the cost on Book Outlet, so I grabbed it. I'm saying this, my daughter is just finishing grade 2, but I wanted to have a look to make sure we didn't miss anything. And I do have to say I misunderstood a little bit of what this book was about. I thought that it was giving you what you would have to teach your child. I didn't realize it was giving you all the information, like you could actually teach from this book. So it covers all the subjects in this book, which I think is kind of cool and amazing. And yeah, so if you wanted a closer inside look at this particular book, leave it below. I'm going to do a look inside for some books. So when you see one that you want, please comment with the title down below, and I can add it to the list for the look inside. Okay, so I'm really happy to have this. I really wish Book Outlet would end up with what your third grader needs to know in their inbox. So I'm going to wait and see if that happens over the summer. And if not, I'll pick that up, of course, somewhere else for next year. The next book is How to Read Literature Like a Professor for Kids. This book was written for kids, and it's based on the same idea, the bestseller that was How to Read Literature Like a Professor for Adults. Now, this is too old for my daughter right now. I will say that. I was reading through it, and it's just... right at this point of her life, I want her to love reading and to focus on learning to read even better and to enjoy the storyline. I don't want to pick apart books the way that's what it feels like when I read this. And I know it's necessary at some point, but not for second and third grader by any stretch. If you have older kids, like I would say in any grade 6 and above, for sure, that this would be great. But I'm really glad I have it. It was super, super cheap. So I will keep this on the shelf for later when we want to have a look at it. Now, this one is The Artist's Way for Parents Raising Creative Children. And this is by Julia Cameron. When I saw this in Book Outlet, I had to grab it. Now, I looked at it, and this is not going to be a light read. But the reason I wanted it is because I read Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way years and years ago, and it had quite an impact in my life. It got me to think about creativity in a different way, number one. But number two, the major impact had to do with what she calls morning pages, and she has people journal in the morning. And I have now been journaling for over 20 years. And that has had a huge positive impact in my life. And when I saw this for children, I thought I really want to hear what she has to say. I'm thinking that, I know I haven't posted this yet, but I do a morning routine, and I have a couple books that I read for 10 or 15 minutes every day till those are finished, well, most days, until those books are finished, and then I add a couple more, and it's a way for me to get in books I really want to read, but they're not necessarily like a fiction book where you sit down and could read them front to cover. They produce a lot of thought, and I want to meditate on them and that sort of thing. So, and really think about them. And it also gives me a way to get through books that I tend to pick up and then put down and never manage to get to the end of the book. Doing it as part of my morning routine gets me through those books. And I'm going to add this into my morning routine in the fall or winter. I'm thinking I would love to do it in the fall, and then I can get some ideas for this new school year that's beginning. That's probably what I'll do. I will let you know. The next book has been on my list for a while, and when I saw this in hard copy at Book Outlet, I grabbed it right away. It is called The Enchanted Hour, The Miraculous Power of Reading Aloud in the Age of Distraction, and this is by Megan Cox Gurdon. And I have a few books on reading like this that I love. The difference with this one is Megan is a journalist, and she has included a huge number of scientific studies and comes from that point of view, which I appreciate. And I want to read you the inside flap, because when I read this, I thought this says it all. I wanted to devour the book right then. So it's this blurb here. And if this book delivers on what this blurb here says, and if it gives us the whys and some tools to implement some of these things into our life, it's worth its weight in gold. Okay. Imagine an elixir so strong that a daily dose would make your family smarter, happier, healthier, more successful, and more closely attached. Now imagine that you could have it without spending a dime. It all starts with a book, a voice, and a place to sit. Can't wait to dive into this one. And if you want to know more about this, let me know down below. I'm considering doing a video of all the books that I have that are about reading and telling you kind of what my favorite is and what I gained from each. Definitely let me know below. If you have a favorite book about reading, please let me know in the comments below, because I, for some reason, absolutely love reading about the benefits of reading and what people have gained from reading over the years, fiction and nonfiction books, because I think both have an impact on us right from when we were little kids to our present day. Anyway, if you have titles that you love, please let me know down below. I would be very grateful. And I have one more book to share with you today. This is another book. As soon as I saw it, I put it in my cart immediately. This is called Well-Read Black Girl, Finding Our Stories, Discovering Ourselves. So speaking about what the benefits of reading give us. So this is by Gloria Edom and founder of the Well-Read Black Girl Book Club. And this book is a collection of essays, and all the essays are written by Black female authors. Why I'm flipping through like this is there are illustrations at the beginning of each chapter. So an illustration of the authors, I'm just going to look because I seem to be bypassing them all. For example, we'll go with the very first one. This is Jessamine Ward. Beautiful illustrations. And I love Jessamine Ward. One of the books that I showcased earlier this year was her book about writing. It was called Navigate Your Stars. And did I get that right? Yep. Oh, you can't see. When you see the fox in my videos, it's the book right under that is Navigate Your Stars. But I did showcase that in another video, a book for authors that I'll link above. It was one of my favorite finds last year. And I did read some of this book already. And I was really excited because within a couple pages, I had the urge to write down all the books that had a major impact in my life over the years. For example, when I first read Beauty Myth, and I was very, of course, late to the game for that publication, but when I read it, it had a major impact on me at the time. And this book talks about the impact that reading can have on a reader. And the authors talk about what books impacted them and their journey over the years, and what it means to have yourself represented, to see yourself represented in books, and what happens when you don't see yourself represented in books as well. And that's what I appreciate also reading this book. I certainly didn't realize how important it was to see myself represented in books, and probably because I have for years. So why would I think of it from that perspective. But to read from somebody else's perspective what it has meant to see themselves on the page or to not see themselves on the page, and to see that huge discrepancy and the effect that it can have on a person, I think is a really important message to get out there. And it's a really important message for me to receive and to understand, not only when I'm engaging with other people, but in terms of the books that I'm reading. I'm really excited to learn about new authors from this book, as well as to get new book recommendations that I can add to my list from this book as well. I'm thinking it will teach me to be a more discriminate reader. Also, I think it has the potential to impact the type of books that I choose for my daughter. I absolutely love anthologies by women, and I love reading essays written by women. And in my 2021 goals for this year was to read one book of essays or a memoir written by a woman or women each month. And this definitely qualifies, and I'll be picking this one up soon. And the only reason I'm not picking it up this month is I have so many going at the moment and planned for this month. I'm just not sure how I can get another one in. Definitely going to be picking this up soon. Those are all the books I have to show you today. And if you see anything that you like, please leave it in the comments below. I would like to know. Or if you learned about a new book for the first time from this video, I'd also love to know. And if you like this video, hit like. And if you'd like to subscribe and see more like these videos, please do so. And I will see you soon with another bookish video.